When it's Friday night, there's nothing to do. Start a new show and you suck like glue. What I binged this weekend.
I'm gonna do another one that I'm probably gonna get murdered for. I binge watched Daredevil.
Oh, okay. I know why you're saying this.
Which Daredevil though?
The
Ben
Netflix.
Affleck?
Yeah, the
10
Ben
stars?
Affleck series. I binge watched it.
You just watched. Like,
Yeah, I just watched it for the first time ever.
Did you
59.
watch like the Electra though? Because that's fun.
The
to
Oh
watch.
my God.
Oh my goodness, it's so good.
Yeah.
With your like, cool like stabbing sandbags.
Hi, Mags. Do not eat the microphone.
Yeah.
So I binged watched the Netflix original series Daredevil,
Which the opening is beautiful because it's dripping blood.
and that's the best part about.
Don't
you
no.
would be wrong.
No. say your opinion.
So
Say it.
I'm just
You're
waiting
wrong.
for this whole.
I know
You're
we
wrong,
only have so
but
much
you're
room on the
wrong.
memory card that.
You got it.
So my thing, like, it's good. It's a good show. I like what they're doing with the character. I like, how it fits into the Marvel universe because it takes place after the events of Avengers, which heavily, like, the Battle of New York heavily ties into where Daredevil starts up. The characters, the acting is good. The main guy, I can't remember his name. He was in Stardust.
I got you.
Matt Murdock, and like
He
he does a really good job. I like Foggy. I kind of didn't
Yeah.
really like him at the beginning, but then he grows on you.
You like him
Yeah.
because he co-worked with Natalie Dormer.
No, I don't.
That was a joke.
But I like that. My issue, yeah,
Charlie Cox?
yes,
Yeah,
Charlie Cox.
Yeah, Cox.
He does a good job.
Oh,
My thing is that it's rather slow.
I
I know. But I also get really bored really easily with shows. But it depends on, it depends on the show. It depends on what's going on.
Arrow season 3. Did you?
Yeah. What?
We're all caught up on Arrow, dude.
That was random.
No, I was
7
making
o'clock?
a reference.
Oh.
One of the biggest criticisms I saw about Arrow season 3
Was that it was
is
slow?
how slow it was. And
That's weird. But because, and apparently I completely missed the fact that they established the main villain earlier in the show. But I felt like he didn't even come in until like episode 3 or 4.
No, he didn't come in until episode.
Okay,
3 or
because I had
4,
said that
but
to you and you were like, no,
they-
no,
So
no.
it's not Kingpin?
It is.
It
No, I
is,
know
but like
it's
the
a-
They
thing
never
is
actually refer to him as that.
They don't. Yeah.
Meaning in the movie.
They don't want to call him by
By
his
that name.
and then
Yeah.
if you call his actual name, you get killed. But like, you get it teased by his right hand man.
Yeah.
And he's the eyes and ears that you see, and you're thinking, oh, okay, but he's constantly referring to his employer. And
Yeah.
His employer.
Like with the media,
Well,
the top business.
I don't know,
people.
because like
And
when
so-
he comes in, all of a sudden he's a really huge deal, and I just kind of felt like I missed something. And that was probably just me because like the first episode is good, and then the end of the second episode is the hallway fight scene, right? Or is that the end of the first episode?
End
that
of the first
scene,
one, I
though.
think.
Yeah, I mean
No,
like
no.
I think it's the second
It's
episode.
the second one.
Because I watched the first 3 episodes, didn't really remember what happened in the third episode, and then didn't watch it for a really long time. So that was actually probably part of the problem, is
yeah.
that I watched the first 3 episodes and then came back to it after like a month, and then just was like, wait, who's this guy that is all of a
So-
sudden really a big deal?
Do you think it, like you kind of have to have a little bit of prior knowledge of it, or at least like it's like thinking that you've seen the movie just to know that
No.
it's
Nah.
like Daredevil and Kingpin, like that's the
No, you do not have to. I'm saying the character mention and like the fact that, because, okay, saying my employer said this, like that makes sense as hinting to the main villain.
Yeah.
It's just where I'm coming from is like, I guess in episode 4 or 5, like is mainly about him. Like that's his story in that
Yeah, I
episode.
think-
Meaning
And like,
you would've
I
preferred
just
to see
felt
traces
like,
of him in like the first episode.
well, partially, but it was more of I didn't catch the mentions or didn't come in, and then all of a sudden he had an episode that was all about him, and it was like, but wait a second, Like, where was
I
any
think it
mention
was
of that?
Episode
Like, it
5
was
or
And I
six,
think it's
actually, when
because it was
his
just
backstory.
really subtle of mentioning that, and then there were so many people that were kind of the bad guys that were all working for him that it was just kind of like a little muddled together.
working with him.
Yeah, but it was
That was
muddled
something else.
until it really did kind of the reveal of him. But again, probably part of the issue was that I took so much time off between the first 3 episodes and the rest of the series, and I didn't rewatch the first 3 episodes because it's not like, it's kind of like the first season of Arrow, I would say. Whereas there is not, like, it's not your stereo, especially for Marvel even, because this does much more
It's much
explaining of a
different
character
than-
development
It's so much
than
different than their movies.
than any of the movies that they've done. So it is a lot slower just because it's trying to develop so much out of it. But I think what got me is because, not that I wasn't expecting that. I mean, like, I watched Arrow, I love how they do that type of thing. But just for what they did, I almost felt like they shouldn't have, it was 13 episodes, right?
Yeah.
Like, they could have done that in 10. They could have condensed it down instead of dragging it out a little bit longer. But again, I'm like that with a bunch of shows where it's like, don't put in filler things that don't enhance the plot any, just advance the plot, or find a creative way to kind of bring everything back into it. And I mean, like, Flash is partially kind of doing that with the Rogues, but partially, like, that's kind of what the Flash is doing, where they'll have 3 episodes that don't heavily influence the main series arc, but then, like, there's a hint at the very end of, oh, right, okay, that's where we're going. And I don't necessarily like that in shows, but if you get picked up for 23 episodes and, they're paying for 23 episodes, you have to make 23 episodes like this. I mean, if you're getting picked up by Netflix for 13, you gotta do 13. And it's not like it's as bad of, not hitting or not, advancing the plot. But I don't know, it's just like, it felt like it dragged at times throughout some episodes to where then I would lose interest, but then I might have missed something, which is what I felt like happened, because I'm notorious
So it's
for...
a show that you need a lot of focus for.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I watched Daredevil over, I think, 3 days. Like, it got released. I watched the first, 3 episodes, and then I finished out the season over the weekend.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Was it because you couldn't stop watching it, or you just...
Out of principle, because everyone was watching it.
Yes and no. I actually really enjoyed it. And I know what you mean by it being slow at points, but I think that's not necessarily different than other superhero TV shows that I watch.
Well, yeah, because there are some that are doing that,
Yeah,
actually
like-
giving, and I do applaud Marvel for taking that approach to this series, because, they attempted to do that type of thing. They did that with the movies, which, you have an hour and a half to establish a character in the movies, and I still feel like they didn't necessarily do a good job in some of the first wave of Marvel before the Avengers hit.
Yeah, because they didn't know what they were doing.
No, in the fact that they aren't doing Daredevil as a movie, they have more time to develop it, but I felt like they almost took too much time instead of making it really tight. And that's not to say it's like, oh god, I hated it, and blah, 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 but...
I think some other things that they did was that they actually have set up things for the future.
Yeah.
To tie back, because there's other Marvel series that are coming to Netflix. You got Jessica Jones. You got
Yeah, they're gonna
Luke
all lead up to the
Cage,
Defenders.
Isn't this Sinister?
Defenders or Inhumans. I don't know which one they want to do.
The Defenders is where it's all
Yeah.
supposed to lead up to.
I don't know.
And they're tying that all up, and I feel like there were a couple episodes that
Hinted toward that.
hinted towards that, and I think you might have considered them to be like filler, like the one where
Yeah,
Stick
but it's just
came
because
back.
yeah.
That's the one that really sticks out in my mind. 'Cause it's
But
like,
that was also
uh,
more of giving his backstory of how
but
he
they
learned
could've
all
done
of
that other
yeah,
stuff, you know,
that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Instead of doing only flashbacks in a couple of episodes, they could have done it like Arrow and have it the course of the whole season does the backstory to lead up to, oh, that's why that's happening.
Yeah.
But like, I think season 2 they can pick up the pace a little bit because they're introducing Punisher, who is such a well-known villain. They're introducing Elektra and all of Anti-hero. And they're introducing Elektra, who is such a big part and actually hinted at
Jennifer Garner.
Throughout the series or throughout the first season. But it's a very, it's a darker take for Marvel. It's a different it's a different take for Marvel, so they're still kind of getting their footing. So I mean, like, I'm interested to see where it goes, but as far as everyone's like, oh my god, it's the best thing on the planet, I'm like, eh.
I actually think it's one of the better superhero TV shows.
Yeah.
And I'm throwing in, if there's superheroes involved outside of, well, I would even throw in heroes. I think it's better than Heroes. And, as a whole package,
More.
I think, it's just hitting a point.
Yeah.
But, yeah. No, I actually think it's one of the better superheroes.
I mean, like, and I agree, because, like, the superhero can get really cliche really quickly. And I guess why it sort of felt lagging is because it didn't necessarily have a baddie of the week.
No, it didn't.
It all fit into the main story arc of having Kingpin.
Yeah.
But maybe that's why the momentum fell off, is because it's like everything was leading up to the end, but there wasn't something happening each episode that would be resolved in each episode.
Yeah.
And they can do that because it all got released at the same time.
Yeah.
It was made to be binged. And so that's probably where, some of the issue is that, they're not going to give you the little nuggets. They're not going to give you the nuggets at the end of the episode that make you want to watch. Because, I mean, you can sit there and Netflix now even just goes to the next episode for you. You don't even have to tell it to. Yeah. So I mean, that's where kind of the difference is because, yes, it is a show that is made to be watched all as one. So it makes sense that they're not going to have some of...
13-hour movie.
Yeah, so it's basically a 13-hour movie. Because I watched the first 3 episodes, I think in one night, and then I think I watched the rest of it over 2 days.
Like, that's what I did with Orange is the New Black, but I watched it in 2 days.
Yeah. So I mean, it's good. I would give it like 7 blind sticks.
I was just gonna say, how many blind lawyers?
Seeing eye dogs. But for me, it didn't really hit on the chord of being like the greatest thing on the planet. But I'm also very strongly DC. But that's just me. And I did like, I do like Daredevil as a character. I liked the Ben Affleck movie because, I mean, like, I like the character. And now he's Batman, so. He made the jump. But I know everyone on the planet has probably already watched Daredevil that wants to watch it. But I am optimistic for season 2. I think John Bernthal is going to do a really great job. And I met him a couple weeks ago, and his knuckles were, like, bruised when he signed my Walking Dead poster. And I was like, oh, you've been filming. Like, he was literally only there one day because he's in the middle of filming. Shane from season 1.
And 2.
And 2. No,
he dies in 2.
Oh, that's right. Yes, he makes it to the farmhouse.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think he's gonna do a really, really great job as Punisher, and it should be exciting to see what they're gonna get into with that, and then also the conflict with Elektra, if they're gonna, because she's an anti-hero too, kind of, isn't she? Yeah. So optimistic for season 2 whenever they decide to put it out, but everyone's gonna freak out when it drops. So.
Including that guy.
Yeah, this dude.
Freak out. I'll be busy.
It's not Star Wars, right?
33.4 hours on.
Yeah.
You don't have to. It's only 13 hours. Yay! All right.